Hello, 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 hello. What's going on, everybody? Welcome now, Stock Trades. How's everybody doing today? What's going on, everybody? All right, so let's do the final mic check today. We got the expensive $2,000 mic. All right, so we got the expensive mic today. We're whipping out the nice champagne. What's going on, everybody? All right, so we're going to go ahead and shift this when I bring Michelle on at the end. In terms of the two mic thing, it's going to be a shittier mic, but it's going to be the one that you guys liked yesterday. But this is the nice, good old SMB7 mic. Let's go. All right. So Rafiki, you and your toes. How you doing, JW? How's everybody doing? What's going on? No toilet bowl mic today, right? We ain't no Peter today. I'm just kidding. I love you, Peter. Shout out. I know you watched the video. I like your work, man. You remind me of the librarian from the Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and do a couple of things. Okay, so the past couple of videos have been very terrible on the mic. Again, I'm really sorry. Okay, really, really sorry. But just trying to try some stuff that's new, and obviously, I don't really have a big team to beta test, right? But thank you for your help. Really appreciate you. Again, it's all for the benefit of the community here. Okay, so what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to reiterate what we've been saying, but we're going to also talk about this potential partnership allegedly with Molina Health. Before we do that, I look at this handsome man. This handsome man, just a stallion. This man is just the way he looks. He just looks like a small man in this picture, doesn't he? Just very, very thoughtful, Mr. Buckeye man here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and watch this section. One of our lifetime members alerted me to this. And I know he's definitely interested in wanting to create his own Bloomberg terminal, but I think this is going to be a pretty good discussion to have. So let me just share the screen here, and let's see, how do we do this? Let's do audio, and let's go ahead and listen.
Complexity. I think their path to building a legacy business is to replace Bloomberg. Everything that they've done in financial information and financial data, in going beyond the model, has been excellent. As somebody who's paid $25,000 to Bloomberg for many years, the terminal is atrocious. It's terrible. It's not very good. It's very limited. And anybody that could build a better product would take over a $100 billion enterprise, because I think it's there for the taking. I wish that Perplexity would double and triple down on that.
And there it is, guys. So pretty much he basically says, as a paying member of Bloomberg Terminal, paying $25,000 a year, he said it's terrible. It's crap. And I can assure you it is, because I have Bloomberg Terminal. I can tell you it is not the best. Okay. It's not the best. And our AI platform terminal, our Al Stock Trades terminal, is incredibly good. In fact, institutions have already flocked towards it, given its already great success, right? So, he's saying that this market's ripe for the taking, around $100 billion, right? So, you give me a good idea, Rabdo, and I was thinking, I already had this idea a while back, but what I was thinking is if I was to publicly raise, it'll just be the lifetime members in my inner circle. I won't try to raise the institutions, because I think that'll dilute the mission that we have. No offense to the institutions that are part of our lifetime access. It's just a retail investor is the reason why I made this, not for you guys, right? So, in any case, just wanted to, just kind of briefly mention this. Let me share the screen normally now. Hey, And shout out to All in Pod. Appreciate you guys. I put the link down to the thing in accordance to what Jason DM'd me a while back. All right, so now that's done. Let's go ahead and talk about this. All right, so first things first. Again, guys, in terms of institutions, let's just kind of get to the data. Let's go to the data, right? So this is the quantum chart, right? And this is we're going to go ahead and open up institutional ownership here, yeah. And we could go ahead and score it, and Oh, that is interesting. Let me see here. Let me go, because this is the fast mode beta. It's still beta. I still need a program. Let's go to this one. This one has less beta in it, if that makes sense. So let's. This one is very intensive. So this takes a lot of. The other one's fast. You can run it quickly. So let's look up. What do I want to do? Let's look up Clover and let's look up institution here. Yeah, let's go to institutional holders here and let's score it. So again, 4 out of 5. What's bearish is investor holdings. And the reason why it's bearish now is because Q2 is finally uploaded, right? So if you go here, Q2 is uploaded, which there isn't a number for Q2, right? So that's why I got a couple questions. You have to wait until Q2 is uploaded, and then you can basically see it. But you can calibrate the core, score system. This is a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 6. This is a -1, a -2, and plus 1 here. So it's about a 6 to a 3, 6 to 3 score. So it's, again, still bullish, maybe 7 to 2, right? So this is a big deal, guys. So let's zoom in on investor holdings. Look at how many investors came online in Q2. Look what happened to Q2, right? Q2 was the lowest investor holdings in a while. And then what happened in Q2? They became profitable, right? And what ends up happening is once they became profitable, investors started to come back online. Okay. And obviously, Q1, Q2, and 3 were positive free cash flow. And you can see since then, they've been increasing. In fact, if I was to speculate, I think that investor holdings is going to go up even higher. I mean, we went from 193 to 207, and you can see the change in how many institutions came online. You can see, look at that jump from Q2 to 3. Look at how many investors, came online, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at number per share. So we went from institutions owning only 73 million to around 105 million shares. So institutions pretty much bought more than 25 million shares of Clover Health. The question is, where the hell do they get those shares from? Well, majority of it is from retail investors, right? So retail investors, unfortunately, sold to the institutions. Again, it happens time after time. That's why we built the platform. So if you're watching 5 years from now trying to figure out how the hell did this guy know that the stock was going to rise to 25, 30, plus to even 50, you guys are basically watching from the future. You guys are seeing exactly how we can look at this from right now. Okay. So, and you guys have to understand, when I talk, I'm not only just talking to you. I'm talking to future people that are going to be watching this, because this is going to be a beautiful case study. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead now and open up the total invested. So we went from invested $71 million to now being invested $378 million, right? So you could see how this is growing, right? It's beautiful. Okay. Ownership percent fell all the way down, and ours is more accurate than Fintel's, and ours is like a Bloom. It's like it's like a Bloomberg terminal, pretty much, right? So whatever you guys have access to, what Chamath would have access to, right? So it went from 15% all the way to 21%. Okay, and these are not your these are your tradable shares, okay? Plus the ones that are Class B, right? So there's that, right? You see a huge, just linear it seems so algorithmic. It seems as the ownership percent, if I was to draw this out, it seems like the next quarter, if it doesn't slow down, should be around about 23, 24. And that is, let's call it 24, let's say 21. So That's another 3% increase, right? Which means if you go to the ones that you guys normally look at, next quarter we should be at around 29 to 30% ownership, right? What else? Look at the number of new positions. It's spiking. Look at that, right? In fact, let's just score this now. Let's go to 25 years and let's look at my favorite way of looking at this. So look at the number of shares. We're starting to get to a point where they want their shares back. Originally, they had 160, 140, and they started selling. And then, I think that just look at that line, guys. Look. I would say in the next couple of quarters, we're gonna get somewhere. Okay. And then my favorite here too is investor holdings. We've never had these many institutional. Oh yeah. So the reason why it's hard to look at is because it's on YouTube. When you're on the terminal, it's a lot better, right? So it's because you're on YouTube, it's hard to see. But if you're on the terminal, it looks a lot better. It looks very clean and elegant. You have to, again, that's why, the purpose of this is not to be viewed from YouTube. It's to be viewed from a computer, right? Or your phone, right? But you can see ultimately this, I'm just sharing it so you guys can essentially see. In fact, for folks that don't know, we got only one person integrated. We got about, I think it was like maybe, was it 5 or 10? I don't know. I have to. I think it was seven, between 5 to 8 people. 5 to 8 people signed in on lifetime access. One person integrated. One person did not use the SaaS coupon code. I'm gonna have a talk with you because again, it doesn't take it automatically. You have to enter SaaS, right? So for folks that are out there, take advantage of this. Again, this is a real product. This is not a bullshit product. This is a real product. Okay. And this product has helped a lot of people, including myself. All right. So if you look at investor holdings, you could see that for the first time ever, we have not seen these many investor. I mean, this is different. We've never seen in the history of Clover Health, we've never seen this many institutional holders. Okay. And again, this gives you over 25 years of institutionally graded data, right? And you can see this is 25 years of data from in regards to institutions holding Clover. And obviously Clover wasn't available in 2000, right? Let me just go ahead really quickly. You need a partner out. Should I talk to Michelle? You're so funny. All right. So what do I need to do here? Okay. So now let me go ahead and let me go here and exit. Let me go home. Okay. And now let's go to our CIA sentiment intelligence here. And let's open up CLOV. So if you look at CLOV and if you look at run analysis, you can see how clean the data is. There's a lot of aberrations and disgustingness of the data, but you can see how it's very clean, right? And you can see that on Q3 to Q2 to Q3, there something happened where smart money started to turn bullish. Okay, so here we are now, 1, 2, 3 quarters out. But yet, the stock price again went from, $1.23 all the way to a high of, obviously it says 359, but it's obviously higher to 480. And now it's at 279, around, $2 to $3. So the question now is, how many quarters do we need in order for it to go to the moon? Well, we can easily, go ahead and look at Palantir. So now look at Palantir. Palantir is a beautiful case study. Okay. So smart money, let's run the analysis. So smart money turned negative here, right? Stock price went from 24 all the way down to $6.42. We became incredibly bullish on here. And then smart money turned on here. Smart money turned on. And when smart money turned on, the stock price literally went from around $8 all the way up high to $136. So the question is, how many quarters did it take for it to explode? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could say 8 quarters. That's fair. 8 quarters. Okay. We could say 8 quarters. How long is 8 quarters? Well, 8 quarters is, there's 4 quarters in a year. That's 2 years. So we could do the math easily here and go CLOV. And we could say, well, they became bullish here. So just add 2 years to this, 2025, 2026. So Q3 of 2026, round up 2027. So by 2027, guys, right, we should essentially, wait, hold on, wait, 2020. Yeah. By 2027, we should see a completely different algorithm, right? And, it's going to be magnificent, right? It is going to be insane. Okay. And again, this is all data, guys. It's all data driven. Okay. All right. So now that we talked about this, and again, all this could, you could have access to all this data by using our coupon code SAS, right? Can you overlay the shorting chart? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Then, but if you want Palantir, I got to go to Palantir. And then this is what happened around Q1 around the beginning to the middle of 2023. The middle of 2023, smart money flipped and institutions turned bullish. Smart money said, I am hungry and Palantir is good. So think of like, June, June, August, June, August 2023. So then if we were to do that and just kind of take this graph and then go to here and say Palantir, and then we just kind of do a couple clicks, zoom out. So I would say 2023 halfway point was around right here, the halfway point. And you could see what happened to the stock price, right? Let me go ahead and remove this. 2023 halfway point is right here. So what happened to the stock price here in May? It went from $7 to $17. It doubled. And what happened? Shorts ran away, but they started to pulse. They did the pulse. And then as the end of 2023 is when they became net income positive. And to get that information, you need access to this data here, in which you put in basically Palantir, and you go here, and we can just take a screenshot, and we can go here, and we can basically put this here and say, well, by 2023, Palantir turned positive on the net income. That's why B-Rob, I told you, right, that you need the triple dragon, okay? And then you respond to me, nobody knows what they're talking about. And I'm looking at you, I'm like, it's like, think of you're speaking to a surgeon and you're telling a surgeon they don't know what the anatomy is, right? So now you see exactly, and I'm going to give you even more case studies, right? And you could see as soon as they, as soon as 2024 hit, they realized that by September, they realized that by Q3 that, Palantir is about to be profitable for the full year. And we can see that by here and by looking at net income. And you can see by Q1 was 105, 134, and then Q3 was 143. And by then it's like, it's clear. By then it's clear because last year, sorry, here it is, 16, 28, 71. And they know that, Q4 will be positive because 2022 Q4, they were positive by 30.88. Shorts, again, these shorts are smart, but they're stupid, right? At the same time, they did these pulsatile movements because they did not believe Palantir will be profitable. in Q2 and 3. Because if you look at 2022, Q2, Palantir lost $179 million. Let me zoom in here so there's no excuses, right? Q3 2022, they lost $123 million. Q4, they were profitable by $30 million. Hooray, hooray. Q1 2023, they were up $16 million. And then that's when kind of, everyone was freaking out. And then Q2, they were profitable again by $28 million. And everyone was like, holy crap, how did they go from a negative 179 to 28? Right? And then, you can look at extended history here, and then you can analyze even more, right? Right. But let me just make it simple. And then by Q3, because we already know that last year's Q4 for Palantir was positive. We just needed a confirmation that Q3 was going to be positive, because Q4 last year was positive, but Q3 last year was not for 2022. So the shorts, as soon as the shorts saw that Palantir was positive 71, they're like, that's it. That's the trifecta. They're going to be profitable for the whole year. And as soon as they saw that, these disgusting snakes, ended up basically withdrawing their shorts. And then these next ones were idiots who shorted, but then they were fed the nice green stick, and then the rest is history. Okay, so essentially, you can see that even in the hands of them being free cash flow positive in 2021 and then onwards, because you could see they were free cash flow positive by 321 million, and then 2022 was 183, and then 2023 was 697. Even if they were positive free cash flow, the short institutional investors and people that were short, they still did a pulsatile short on Palantir until there was no question that these folks were going to be profitable for the full year. So why am I saying this, and why am I taking a scalpel and surgically looking at this? I'm going to repeat it again, and please tell me if you understand. I'm going to repeat this again. Okay? I'm going to repeat this again because this is very important. Okay? I'm going to start with Q2 2022. Palantir was negative, right? This is in 2022. I'm not talking about 2023. I'm going to call it 22, the year of 22, right? Just how the song, the summer of 69. I'm going to say the year of 22. Okay? So the year of 22, we got negative 179 million, right? Then Q3 of the year of 2022, we got another negative 123 million. So, Palantir was just burning cash. But then something remarkable happened in Q4, the last quarter of 2022. They were profitable. Okay? So then Q1 happened for 2023, and they were profitable again, which is different because they increased their profitability from, if you were to analyze and do extended history and look at Q1 of 2022. Let me just very quickly highlight the net income so we know. Q1 of 2022, where's that? Where's Q1? They were down a negative $100 million. 101, negative 101 million. Again, these numbers are in millions. So they went from negative 101 to positive 16 mil. But Wall Street wasn't pleased yet. Why? Because Q2 last year in 2022 was negative. So they have to prove that. And guess what they did? They did. It was positive in Q2 of 2022. But still, Wall Street and the shorts Still didn't believe it. It shows you how dumb these people are, right? And then Q3 came along, last year was negative. So they said, no, one more quarter, if they prove it, then we're going to break off of the shorts off of the necks of the long-term shareholders. And then what happened? Q3, it was positive 71. And that sealed the deal. The stock shot up. That sealed the deal. Why? Why did the shorts leave after Q3 and not wait for the full year? Because for 2022 Q4, they were already profitable. And if they can take negative 100 or negative 179 or negative 123 million and turn it into profitability, then what the hell are they going to do with 30 freaking million? They turned it into 93 million. So you understand how when you look at this with laser focus, with surgical skills and precision, laser focus, you can basically see you could see the pattern here. And immediately after Q3, the shorts stopped. They dropped. The smart ones. And then what ended up happening is the stock shot up to $25. So it went from $6 to $25. But then as they became more profitable, more et cetera, the stock continued to shoot up higher and higher and higher. Okay. They thought they were being cute here by increasing their shorts, but Palantir went all the way. So there's your analysis of Palantir. And I hope, Al, your gratification comes in when you get through to someone and you see they finally understand you indeed a good. So yes, now you understand, B-Rob. That's where I get my gratification, right? Because again, once you have it all, the graphs are all around you and you can circle, like, I don't know, my brain works weird. My brain's weird. I can close my eyes, guys, and I can see these graphs around me, right? It's almost, I have like my own virtual reality in my own mind. And I can see the graphs all around me, and I can manipulate the data in my mind. My mind is definitely weird, okay? But the thing is, I'm showing you now what I see in my mind, right? And you see it, right? And the problem is you need to access the data, right? So you see this, right? Okay. So now we talked about this, okay? Let me think here. So now let's go ahead. So we talked about this. Yeah, I recommend reading this. This is about pharmacy, right? Clover Health launched the pharmacy. I recommend reading this tweet. I go into the, D10s, D11s, D12s, and medication adherence. Again, Clover got dinged regarding the 2 key outlier, and then, they got dinged hard as well as the other ones, and they dropped the 3 stars, and then they went up to 3.5, and now they're at 4 for 2026. And what they did is that, the things that are, medication adherence for diabetes, medication adherence for hypertension, medication adherence for cholesterol, statins, they're doing all that, guys, now, right? And what they did is they flipped the AI switch and they turned to software, right? And what ended up happening is because they turned to software, they were able to solve these issues, and I think they're gunning for 4.5 to 5 stars, right? So there it is. Yeah, hey, eyes are beautiful. I'm seeing your comments here, and I recommend Jeff. I recommend listening to Jeff. Jeff will show you kind of what, the idea here is, talk a little bit more to Jeff. Jeff is, there are some things that you're not seeing, right? So it's right. I recommend looking at, talk to Jeff, right? So what's happening is they're taking all this data, right? It's just, eyes are beautiful saying they want to go international. And I don't know, eyes are beautiful. I don't think you're from the United States. Right. I because of that comment, I don't think you're from the United States, because we spend the most on healthcare. There's so much waste in healthcare, and you're telling us to go to international. That's not. Yeah, you're 100%. You're not from the United States. Yeah, you see, no, I'm not. Yeah, exactly. There's a discrepancy in your analysis, and there's some deficiencies. And I want you to take the same ophthalmology skills that got you into medical school and to becoming an ophthalmologist, and I need you to take that and apply it to this, and actually think through first principles, and actually put stuff together, right? Right. I recommend, because there is some error, right? There's a lot of it's like a medical student saying I'm ready to do heart surgery. It's not. There's errors in that jump. Okay, all right. So now that we have this again, man, you're like all this data, international, right? Because obviously international is is where the money is. No, come on. All right, so now that we have this, Clover is taking all this data from New Jersey, okay, and it's about to be able to push its value-based care metrics to a whole nother field, right? To a whole nother field, to a point where that pharmacy issue, which it really hurted a lot of MA plans, is going to just be completely fixed. And the point, why I'm spending time on this here is because all it took for them was a year to essentially go to 4 stars, right? And all it took for them was to update a couple things to Clover Assistant for then it to help with medication adherence, which is what CMS wanted. And what does that sound like to you, right? So I have a Tesla, right? So what does that sound like to you? Okay. Right. On the air updates, right? You don't need hardware, right? They did a software update, for God's sakes, right? They did a software update, guys. Yeah. So this is the Tesla of healthcare. As if CMS changes something, it's just a software update, and they can push that to the cloud. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to talk to here. Big thing here. Someone did some research and they found, I believe, I don't know, who was the original person. I don't know who that was. Maybe it was Rapala Invest. If not, my apologies. But I did not figure this one out. This was, brought to me in the Lifetime Access community page. So I don't know who figured this one out, but it wasn't me. But we're seeing now Molina having a subdomain for Counterpart, which is a subsidiary of Clover Health. This is allegedly, right? We don't want to be big on that, right? But we have Humana, we have Molina. So I went ahead and I did kind of a analysis here. And I said, well, $5 billion from Molina, $75 billion from Humana. You got around $80 billion. That's about $8 billion for 10%. Let's say if Clover gets 20% of that, that's $1.6 billion a year. If they grow 5 to 15% per year, well, then obviously the revenue for Clover from a SaaS-like structure is going to increase by maybe price to sales of 7 to 10. But really, there's let's be humble with this. Yeah. Let's be humble. Okay. So let's assume that this is 1.61 billion. Okay. Because and we're assuming that these folks are going to make 20% of the 10% savings. And obviously they can do 1,500 basis points, maybe 15 to 20%, who knows? But let's just assume right now they make about $1.6 billion a year from this, right? 1.6. Okay. Right. We're not talking about Summit Health. We're not talking about Duke. We're not talking about all those other ones of how much money they're going to bring. Illinois. We're not talking about any of that. We're just talking about Molina and Humana. Okay. Now, remember how I told you when I try to estimate the future free cash flow, how I basically use 5%? Do you think I'm going to use 5% for this? I can't, because it's a SaaS. So for SaaS, you can use anywhere between 15 to 20. Okay. Very difficult, hard to say, hard to do, but I want to say maybe this is the first time I'm going to do a calculation for SaaS. I would say we can multiply it by 20%, maybe 15%, but we'll do 20%. You do that, then that's 320 of free cash flow. Okay. But we did yesterday, we did the calculation for the free cash flow for Medicare Advantage, assuming it's just MA. Now let's do the free cash flow for just MA. Well, first off, we have to say 80 minus 21. I'm just going to add 1 here because it's technically 20, right? So 60 plus 43 million because they were unprofitable by 43 million last year. So we're assuming break even. Then plus another, let's say 100 let me think. Let's say 250 here. Let me think. So I think 550 could be the revenue. Subtract this. That's about 150. Yeah, like I said, 150. And then so 150 for that. So we can do 60 plus 43 is 103 plus 150 is 253. We'll be conservative. 253. Okay, so there's 253. So then this is the MA. So if we take then 320 plus 253, that's a free cash flow of 573, $500 million. The question is, where do we grow this at? That's the problem. So we're going to have to do kind of a weighted growth. So we have to be a little bit more humble on this one. So we have MA. MA we'll say is 30%. Then we have SaaS. SaaS is tough. SaaS could be more, but let's assume SaaS is, to make it low, to drop down the average, I was going to say 10, 15%. Let's say SaaS is 5%. So if we take the average, 30 plus 5 divided by 2, that's 17.5% growth rate. Again, I'm being very humble here. 17.5%. So let's do that. Let's put in CLOV. Let's open up Classics View. Let's put 17% growth rate. Was 17.5. And let's put the free cash flow of 573. So this is with SaaS plus MA, but I hindered the growth rate. I hindered the growth rate very heavily. I think it's actually will be a lot easier to calculate the SaaS separately. So if I was to do the normal way, I would say 30 with 253. This is just MA. Because I'm confident we can grow 30, right? So in the next 2-3 years, this would be MA stack. So we could let's just take this range here. $32.49, $47.63. Right? Because it's tough to do because we need more of the data, right? Because this is two businesses in one. That's what this is. And soon the SaaS potentially might cannibalize the MA. So to do the MA is actually to SaaS, it's actually quite easy. All you got to do is just take 1.6, multiply it by the SaaS score of we could call it 6.77. Times 2, that's $21.67. So all you got to do is add $32 to this one here. So add 32.49. So it's anywhere between $54 to the high end of 47.63 plus 21.67 is 69. So anywhere between 54 to 69. And that's only using Humana and Molina plus the MA business, right? And remember, Wall Street's forward looking, and this is using a price to sales of 7. Imagine if it was a price to sales of 10, 15, or whatever, right? So all I can tell you is this is a lot of money, right? This is a big jump, right? So in the next 5 years, this is very achievable, right? If you have like the retail flu, which is if you have like the retail flu, which is pretty much like a flu that's very contagious, it's a thing that impacts your system where you'll always be poor for the rest of your life. Let me remind you something, okay? Let me kind of wash this retail flu out of your mind. So if we go to the statement of cash flows here, yeah, and I want us to go to net income, just a nice, easy way now I want you to go to net loss, okay? Look at net loss. They went from losing 339 million to losing 213 million in 2023 to only losing 43 million. To potentially being either break even or profitable in 2025, and to definitely being profitable in 2026 and on. So, in other words, what this basically tells you is that how much did they improve by between here and here? To answer that question, all you got to do is take 339 minus 43. They improved by $296 million. 296. So they went from 2022 to 2024. In 2 years, they added $296 million. So if you don't think that the net, because remember, guys, why am I calculating net income? Why am I adding back 43? Remember, I added back 43 million. I took this number here, 80. I subtracted unpaid claims, which is 20. Remember 80, my 80, and I'm doing I'm dropping off the 2 million here to be conservative. I took 80 minus 20 million for this, and I added 43. And then I added another 150, right? And then are you seeing where I'm getting these numbers from? Right? So you could see that they went from 339 to 43. So the question now is do you think that they're going to make 150 to $200 million in the future? Well, you don't have to ask me. Institutions think so. If you go here and look at institutions, you got to go to analyst. If you look at analyst estimates, and if you look at net income, analyst estimates think that they're going to make 160 million in 2029. Now, obviously, analyst estimates thought that, and they changed it because they thought they were going to lose a lot more money, which I find kind of funny. Pretty hilarious. But analysts are thinking they're going to make 160. And I think analysts they're pushing this projection 2 to 3 years more than what it needs to be. I think we're going to get to 150 before 2029. But let's assume we'll use analyst numbers, 160. So to calculate free cash flow, all we got to do is take the free cash flow that we have now here. This is discontinued. So Take 80 minus 20 is 60. You have to add 43 to get to 0, right? So you take 60 plus 43 is 103, then add your 160. That's 263. Doesn't that sound a lot like this here that I got? 253. Another one's 263. Are you seeing how I'm getting these numbers? So you see this, right? It's all, again, guys, I'm very data driven. There is no opinions here, right? It's all data, guys. It's all data. I mean, you think retail investors, or just screw retail investors for a sec. You think a normal day guy who's not even a retail investor, who's just an office worker, you think they know? Do you think they know this? You think a normal teacher, do you think they know this? Come on, man. Right? Get out of here, right? Okay, so you could see they're about to flip to profitability. And they're about to get some SaaS revenue that will definitely amp this up even higher. Right? Because remember, free cash flow went from 203 million to positive 34 million. You see how it improved by 234 million? You see that big jump? So in 2 years, they improved by 200. You think in 2 years, they're going to improve by another 200? I think that seems likely. Right? Doesn't that seem likely? I don't like to, me and Roaring Kitty are two different, people, right? Yes, I'm using some of the short data here, but I'm more of a fundamental investor. He knows about intrinsic value really well, right? He used to have a series. Does he know who I am? I can't say much into it, but yes, he does. But if I was to basically say something about Warren Kitty, I would say we are in our early stages of this move. We're in our early stages. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say, right? Yeah, no, two different methods of analysis, right? Two different methods. But it has the same outcome. So and you can see now we're in a different field, right? We're talking free cash flow positive and soon to be net income positive, right? So there's that. We can also look at Carvana, and we can run the analysis. And this is Carvana, right? Oh no, this is Palantir. Sorry, this is Carvana. We can run the analysis, and we can do the same thing for Carvana, right? So here is Carvana. Smart money turned positive. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Would you look at that? 7 quarters after, I said 8 quarters, right? This is 7 quarters. 7 quarters after, the stock literally went from, $25 to $41 all the way up to $336. Are you starting to see a pattern here? This is our market sentiment intelligence. This is why when I raise prices, that's it, guys. The spigot's going to be turning off. Imagine how many 10 baggers we're going to find in the future, because Wall Street doesn't change their game. This is a game that's been played over and over and over again, right? You can see how clean the data is. Okay? Again, take advantage. Okay? This won't last long. Take advantage. Because once this stock blows, I'm going to be closing this off. Because I don't want I don't want what do they call it? The rift raft to come. I don't want rift raft in my group, okay? In our group, right? All right, so you can see Carvana in 2023 from Q2 to Q3, it shifted, and then 7 quarters out, which is pretty much 2 years, the stock pretty much 10x. And interestingly enough, it was at $4. And this is why I'm telling you, we're so early. We're so early in Clover. It is insane, right? So what happened in 2023? Why did institutions, why did smart money go from not bullish to bullish? What happened in 2023? To answer that question, we need to go to the data, right? There's no opinions here. Oh, that makes sense. OCF, FCF, and net income turned positive in 2023. And there's Carvana. You see how everything's data driven? Okay, so 2023, they started to become profitable. Okay, and they became profitable. All right, so what did the shorts do in 2023? Well, let's figure that out. Let's go ahead and remove. Okay, so here's 2023. It became profitable, and the shorts started to drop their shit, and the stock went up. Are you starting to see this is a mixture between smart money, dumb money, institutional holdings, free cash flow, net income, intrinsic value, all the softwares that were pretty much combining the market sentiment intelligence, SEC 13F filings as institutional ownership? You know how much data, this is so simple. You got 3 lines here. You got the gold line, the blue line, and the red line. This is dumb money, smart money. Look at it. You got 3 lines here, right? And behind these 3 lines is hundreds of thousands of data points, hundreds of thousands of data circulating like Cortana from Halo, right? So you might ask yourself, you're like, well, I don't know. What does CLOV say again? CLOV says this, yeah, we're early. Yes, we got a 600% rise, but we're still early. We're only 3 quarters in. We still got 4 more, right? Really, let's say 4 to 5 more. I mean, are you seeing this? Okay, let's give a little bit more data. Well, I don't know, Al. Let me look at the short again. I don't know, Al. I gotta look at this again. Let me look at the short, Al. I have trust issues, Al. I don't know, Al. I have some trust issues. I need to take a look at the report, Al. Show me the report. What does it say again? Look at that. It became free cash flow positive. The shorts started to cover. The stock shot up 6%. Why did the shorts cover? Because they were scared. Why? Because this is a historical short squeeze stock. They don't normally move this fast. But guess what? They started bleeding the company, and then they started to increase their short. Why? Because they're still not net income positive. Right? Excellent. No, I'm that's why sometimes people don't see all my videos. That's why I'm saying this again. So yeah, I hope you saw this pattern. Best of luck in the case. But yeah, so and you guys, you see this, right? Okay, we're back online here. Now here's the thing. Are we approaching kind of a limit here? Shorts? Yeah, we're getting there. I think we are all Clover needs to do. Imagine right now, if Clover shows us over 30 million of net income, holy shit. And if they guide that they're going to be profitable by the whole year, holy shit. Holy shit. If it doesn't happen this year, that's fine. We'll kick the can down 2026. But if it does, again, that's what we're waiting for. Again, investing takes time. Okay? You want to make the big bucks, right? It takes time. Go be an anesthesiologist. You remember that video? How long did it take? 15 years, right? To make to make $800,000 a year, right? And you have debt because of medical school, right? Things take time. Okay. So you can see with the data, the shorts are back online because it's not profitable yet, but they're near break even, very close, right? Because if you go ahead and look at CLOV here and look at quarterly, they went from negative 19 million to negative 1.27 million. And they did that with, again, all data driven. They did that with a 5.58% EBITDA margin. So what this tells me is Clover needs maybe above 6% EBITDA margin to be profitable, because they were so close. Maybe call it 7. They went from 1.96 to 5.58. That's a big jump. They increased by 184%. So Q3, does that look like it's going to be positive, guys? I think so. How about this one? Q4 may be tough, but you know what's funny? I think Q2 and Q3 might be so profitable that it'll outshine Q1 and Q4. Because Q1, they were only down 1.2 million. That's nothing, guys. That's like my public portfolio. I can give them my public portfolio and they would be profitable in Q1. You understand that, guys? You see how close we are to profitability? But yet you go out there in the Twitter world, you go out there in Twitter and let's go to Al Stock Trades, right? You go out there in Twitterland, and you go out there and all these people talking about Oscar and Bosker and Mosker, all these people, right? All this crap. No one knows what the hell they're doing. Nobody. What the hell is that? Is that a little doggy? Okay. No one knows what the hell they're doing, right? That's a cute dog. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, man. Man's best friend. Okay. So yeah, this is a pretty big deal. So this is all discussions without SaaS. We know returning members have a really great MCR versus new members. They're tracking along their old growth rates of 37%. They make, for every dollar they spend, they make $4.5 out of the patients. Clover is going to high growth soon. Clover is the Tesla of healthcare. They're not Waymo anymore. They're using neural networks now, guys. They're the Tesla of healthcare. The short story tells an incredible pattern. Schwab is telling retail investors to sell while their institutional side is buying. They tell retail investors to sell, but institutions to buy. Listen, guys, it's very clear that the game is rigged. Okay? I've seen it rigged for a long time. A lot of people know it's rigged. But the difference is I have the skill set and the tools to build something that is, in my opinion, better than the Bloomberg terminal. And if you're out there, and if this makes too much sense to you, and if you have a good skill set, if you're good at being analytical, if you're hungry, even if you don't know a lot, there is a platform for you. The data is here. It's ready to be manipulated. It's ready to be analyzed. Right? So there's that. We could go ahead and do more. We did AMD, we did Carvana, we did all these things in the video before, but it's very clear where we're at right now. It's very clear. Shorts are going up. Shorts don't think they're going to be profitable. It's just it's going to be funny. I think they're about to get caught up off guard. Right now, let me give a moment here. 1 second here. Let's take a quick intermediate break. Let me bring Michelle. Hopefully, she's still awake.
Albert Allen's got the secrets in his hand. Retail heroes taking over this land. Trading stocks with a master plan. Fortunes rising on the Clover brand. Numbers rolling, deals never stop. Bulls are charging, markets gonna pop. Albert's wisdom higher than the top. With Clover Health, we'll hit the jackpot. Fortune calls, Albert leads the way. Retail winners here to seize the day. Clover's Health, dollars gonna sway. In this game, no more bills to pay. Through the highs and lows, we stay strong. Albert's voice guiding us all along. Clover's growth, we're playing like a song. Investing right, never going wrong. Stocks are climbing, reaching for the skies. Albert's insights cutting through the lies. Retail dreams standing tall, they rise. In this world of trades, we're the prize. Fortune calls, Albert leads the way.
Hello. All right, guys, we are back. I changed microphones now. Before we were using the expensive one. Now we're using this other semi-expensive one, the one that you guys liked yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play the live right now to hear my voice. You might hear a replay. Expensive one, the one that you guys liked. All right, Michelle, can you say something?
Good evening, everyone.
Okay. You're so weird.
What am I supposed to say?
Let's see. Let's see.
Good evening, everyone.
All right, that's Michelle. Okay, good. All right, so that was just you heard a replay, guys, because now we get the toilet bowl one, right? No. This one's a good one. This one's a good one, right? So this one's the pro. It's not the other shitty one. I'm gonna end up tossing that one. Hey, they said hi, Michelle. Hi.
Hi, guys.
All right. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to just have this really quick discussion with honestly, let me just I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. White collar. No. Blue collar. I always get them confused. Blue collar. Yeah. Let's say hard working plumber. Let's see. These pictures are so staged. Natural photo with family. Man, these plumbers look too good. Right? These plumbers look too clean, right? That's fine. Let's say blue collar with family. I think that's fair. Yeah, there we go. Does that look right, Michelle? That looks about right, no? Somewhat, right? Somewhat. Maybe this one?
I think it's more that one.
It's more this one? Yeah, it's more this one. Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to use this picture. Yeah, there it is. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. Okay, so what the hell is this, guys? Okay, so I'm going to be walking and talking, and I'm going to be testing out this microphone, almost like I'm giving a lecture, right? So Michelle and I, we went to a nice breakfast spot at the DoubleTree Hilton Hotel. Her father comes in and he does business here in Arizona. So he gave us some coupons to get some breakfast. And Michelle was like, you really got to, do this breakfast spot. There's this hotel that my dad goes to. It's right next to the apartment complexes. It is the most weirdest place. You would never think of a DoubleTree Hilton to have the best omelets of your life. And I was like, oh, okay, well, all right. So we go in there, and we ordered the omelets, and holy mother of God, dude, these were the best omelets of my life. These omelets were like insane. They were so good. There was more omelet material than there was eggs. It was like that, right? So as we were eating the omelets, we were sitting with a group of a man and his wife and his two beautiful children, right?
They're 10 and 12.
They're 10 and 12 years old, right? Right. And I need you, Michelle, if you can be a little bit more interactive with this. If you can, just give me. I might leave some data, right? So talk about more if I'm missing out on the things. Please interrupt me, right? Look at this guy. Look at this doggy. Look at this doggy. Okay, so sorry, my dog is kissing me. Mwah. All right, so we were eating, and then the server was really being terrible to the family. Like this is a very terrible server. And I look at the dad, I'm like, holy shit, man. And the wife says, we've had her before. She's really not the best. And I'm like, man, clearly, right? So we were talking, and the father had a cross on. And Michelle, I want you to explain how, since I've talked a lot for an hour, as I pet my dog and kiss my dog, can you explain now kind of the situation? What happened? And then I'll take it over from there when I get to that.
When they first came in, I think they caught our attention because the kids were wearing like very American, like, I guess almost like race car shirts. I don't know if it was race car, but it looked like kind of race car shirts, had the American flag. The dad had like this big cross on and had had a very thick, heavy country accent. And you could tell that he was probably from somewhere in the middle of Arizona or somewhere like, I don't even know. He just had this really heavy country accent, and it just put a smile. It was on my face. It was a cute little like American family. If I think of America, they're probably one of the families I would think of. The kids are yes, ma'am, no, sir. Very proper.
Yeah.
It was really adorable to see.
Yeah. So it's just, you could tell that the dad was trying to raise his kids right. And then I was, I had my computer. I was programming and coding. I was taking a couple of business calls. And oh yes, Kevin said from Kentucky, right? And I was taking my business calls. I was doing this real estate. You guys know I'm doing 10 things at the same time. And the guy said, what do you do? We struck a conversation, and I told him what I did, and he was like, he was just blown away, and then he started looking at his kids. So I started to talk to the kids, giving them life advice. Reminds me back in an era I never was born in, where the doctor comes at the home and and comes and talks to the kids and tells them how to behave and take care of mom and dad and all these things. And so I started talking to the dad about Wall Street, and that's when things got interesting. So I need you now, Michelle, if you can, explain the situation. The dad came and sat at our table. Now go ahead and explain that thing. Go ahead.
I guess he was like giving the kids advice. And then
And by the way, guys, Michelle's an introvert.
I'm very introverted.
She does not. She's the opposite of me. She's so introverted. She hates talking in public. She is very uncomfortable now. And Michelle, I need you to understand. These people are like family. You just like this. It's okay. Okay.
Except when we have tequila, he turns introverted and I turn extroverted.
Yeah, when I have tequila, I am very introverted. I'm very quiet. I don't talk. Sometimes it depends. If you give me more drinks, I'll talk more. But there's like a medium, and then you become an extrovert. I should give her tequila, but it's Sunday. If I give her tequila, she'd be talking right now. But it's okay, Michelle. Just be yourself and talk. Go.
Yeah, no. So I guess it was just a beautiful moment because the dad was just curious about what Albert was doing, and then Albert's like, "Would you like to come over our table and see what I do?" And the dad's like, "Yeah, of course." So it was really beautiful to see a family kind of like join tables with us. And the kids were learning passively from Albert's teaching. And I think it made me very emotional because it's like, I don't know the last time you just sat with the table next to you and just got to know another American family. I think it just made me like really emotional because it kind of reminded me of how I grew up. And then kind of like, my dad didn't grow up with much. He literally worked like nonstop. I think he'd work until like 3-4 in the morning. He didn't know about stocks. He did it the long, hard way, gained 200-300 pounds at some point. So it was just.
And then he got a heart attack and he got a cabbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to the cardiothoracic surgeon from Cedars-Sinai, Dr. Chikwi.
Yeah. He's definitely taken a turn on his life. But so it was just like almost like a reflection of kind of looking at how I grew up because we didn't grow up with much. We grew up where. Like I had 4 sisters and going out for us was Baskin Robbins and we couldn't afford each to get our own ice cream. So we all had to split a Sunday ice cream between the 7 of us. So you could tell this family didn't have much, but it was just such a beautiful moment because you just saw 2 people coming together and 2 families. And it literally felt like a cousin or a brother or something, like a long lost family member that we haven't like seen in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you see, guys, the problem is, and this is what I told the kids. I said that you're in an era now where Americans are split between Democrats and Republicans. And we're not as together as what, at least I felt like when I was a kid. And it's beautiful, though, because our platform, our terminal has Democrats, Republicans, has LGBTQ communities. We're all there, right? We're all there. And and in the political channel, we punch each other and everything. But at the end of the day, we have one common goal, which is to make a shit ton of money. Okay, right? And so I was speaking to this guy, and it was just I showed him everything that I showed you guys, right? And it's more personal. Like when you're sitting with someone, guys, and he's right there. Imagine sitting right next to me and I'm showing you this information and I'm pointing to the screen. Look here, look there. And this guy's smart. This guy raised 2 beautiful children. His wife is a teacher. Okay. This is a real American family, right? This is my target population that I'm trying to reach. This is my target people. This is the people. This is what I'm trying to reach, right? It's these folks, right? Once I showed him all that, I told him, "How old are you, sir?" He said, "I'm 41 years old." Right? He said, "I'm 41. And Michelle, what did he say? Go ahead. Finish the story if you remember that part.
I don't remember that part.
I said that you spent your whole life.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
He asked him, "You spent your whole life. Has anyone ever taught you any of this?" And he said, "No, sir."
Yeah. He spent his whole life slaving away, working for his 2 children. And not one moment has Obama, who has $70 million now, who understands a lot about Wall Street's crash and the great financial crisis, GFC in 2008, or how the Democrats like to spew with Nancy Pelosi racking in over $250 million. Not one person, right? Not one person ever, right, was able to sit down and say, hey, look at this, right? Look at this. The information that I showed him, and maybe there's a reason why God was able to allow me to find a path to this information, because the people that which he promised this path and showed this path, the devil almost got to them. They keep this information to themselves, right? Because think about it. All this data that I'm showing you right now, all this data, this picks up this microphone, so the dogs, right? Just all this data that I'm showing you right now, okay? All this data, market sentiment intelligence, intrinsic value, free cash flow. This information is not old. I'm sorry, it's not new. It's old, guys. This is old information, right? And it's not going to change, okay? The Constitution has not changed, right? We still use the same Constitution, right? Wall Street does not change. You cannot change fundamentals. That's why it's called fundamentals. He spent his whole life, and not one moment ever has someone said, hey, come here. Let me show you this. Not our educational system, not our news, not our politicians, not our school systems or colleges or any of those sorts. Not the financial advisors he spoke to. Those are the people that I'm trying to reach out to. And you know what mind boggles me? I know I'm going to piss off a lot of Democrats. I know. Listen, guys, I came from nothing. Okay, I used to be the hardest core Democrat ever. My degree, one of my degrees is in sociology. That's like Karl Marx. That's like woke AOC level shit. That was me, right? I was AOC all the way. You understand me? Like if me and AOC would talk, Michelle would get jealous, right?
What?
No, what? I'm just saying, okay? I was really socialist, right? I mean, remember Karl Marx? Wasn't I like the Karl Marx's son?
Oh my God, you got so into it.
I got so into it, man. You remember we used to stay up at night and I used to draw out Karl Marx's ideologies and all this shit. I believed in all that bullshit, right? And I'm telling you guys, it's rigged. Both Republicans and Democrats are shit. It's just a shell. Excluding AOC, and Bernie Sanders, they're actually real. They're actually really crazy socialists. They're really socialists. They haven't been sold out yet, and we'll be able to track that on our software. They haven't been sold out yet, but all the other politicians, they've all sold out. It's all a shell. The donkey versus the camel. What's the other one? The horse or camel? Elephant?
An elephant.
Elephant. I don't freaking know. Donkey. They're all donkeys, right? So really, they're all freaking donkeys to me. Okay. It's all a bullshit shell, because behind the camera scenes, they all talk. Behind the camera scenes, they speak money. Look at Nancy Pelosi with her IPO. And my apology, Kelsey Warren. I know you're a frequent subscriber to our channel, and I did some really good business with you from Energy Transfer, right? But also your friend at the Treasury, the Secretary of Energy, right? As a shareholder of Energy Transfer.
You should show them the clip with McCain again. A long time. You
Oh yeah, the
years
McCain
ago.
clip. Yeah, I
5 years
should.
ago.
I should. Yeah, it's all with Amy Klobuchar,
Yeah.
the Democrat. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll not in this one. We'll do it in the next one. But the thing is this is all a show, guys. This Democrat versus Republican. At the end of the day, it's a game. It's a bullshit game. It's all about money. Okay? And the faster that you guys understand that, the faster that we can all come together and work together. Okay? Because there will come a time on that 8th quarter where Clover Health is going to be unrecognizable from what we see today. And there's going to be a lot of people like that guy that you see from Getty Images, right? With his son and the dad. There's going to be a lot of folks like this that their lives are going to be completely changed. And the fact that I had a hand in this, I can't take all the credit because I believe God had a hand in this. I really believe God had a hand in this. I can't really take all the credit, right? I'm only following what I've been told, right? It's going to be very amazing. The lives are about to change, right? Because it's hard. Yeah, I mean, I spoke to this guy. That's a one-on-one. But when I'm talking to you guys right now, I'm able to talk to so many, right? Imagine if I had the privilege of having Obama's audience. Imagine how many people I can teach. But the problem is you can't do that because you'll disrupt the economic engine. We need workers, right? We need them, right? The bottom 50% make money for the top 1%. Remember B-Rob? If I don't recall, I gave the screenshots today. The top 2% of Americans make $400,000 a year. The top 1% of Americans make $600,000 a year. But you know what's so special about the top 0.01%? They fluctuate. They fluctuate with the stock market. Their wealth in 2022, if I recall, went from like 2021, I think their wealth went from like 20 million, and then 2022, their wealth went down to 15 million. How does someone's wealth go down? Because the stock market dropped. Remember the meme clown market, right? You see, the top 0.01%, their wealth is not tied to a paycheck. All of you guys that are listening now, majority of you guys, if you stop working, you stop getting paid. But what happens if I were to tell you, once a stock reaches intrinsic value, you'll be able to do the wheel strategy and be able to take monthly or weekly, yearly, quarterly, whatever the freaking hell you want dividends from it, doing covered calls and cash secured puts. This is the vision I have, guys. Right? We wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy right now, right? We wake up, no, actually, no, we should not say that anymore. We do not want to wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy, right? We don't want any more baby oil or anything like that. Now, let's stay away from that now. Right? I don't want to feel like P. Diddy anymore, right? I don't think nobody does, right? So we wake up in the morning and we have a video chat, all of us, in the Lifetime Access platform. We got our oil guy there. We got our tech guy there. We got our, grocery guy who's looking at fries, Kroger stock, Walmart, right? And we have a whole thing. We got a recession coming in. We're like, all right, good. All right. So what's the VIX? The VIX went up above 6. Okay, 60. Okay. Well, once it drops from 60 to 30, we know that's it. This is a time to get in, right? This is going to be a next bull market range, right? What is the intrinsic value? What happens to the free cash flow of these companies? It's going to be amazing, guys. It's going to be amazing. All right. This is what we are creating. What we are making and what we are creating is something that has not been done before, right? The problem that arises is we have to stick together. We have to stick together, right? Because you never know. Let's say this person is a plumber and he's in Arizona and I'm building my property business, right? Wouldn't I want this guy to work, if he wants to still be a plumber and build his plumbing business and hire plumbers? I would love to bring him on, right? Let's say you have you're building a, I don't know, real estate business in your own backyard, let's say in Kentucky, right? And you got someone there that from Kentucky, from the Lifetime Access member group, right? At the end of the day, you guys don't know how much value you bring. The bottom 50% of our society builds the gross domestic product for the top 0.01% of the wealth distribution curve. You all are so valuable for the rich. Back in the day, people used to trade feathered coat, with wool or whatever bullshit you have. You remember about those back in the day? It was no currency. It was all trade, right? You trade one person's gift to another. It all starts with community. Why do you think, if you look at all the folks that are homeless, what's the one common denominator for all of them? There was a cut in the community of their life. Either they had a bad connection with their family, a problem with wife, drugs out, something happened where it severed the community. So when I built this platform, I said that the best thing that we can do is the data will come. I will build it. That's why it's taken me a while, but now you guys see the vision. You see the data. But the biggest asset is going to be the people that use the data. The problem is people come in, they don't know what's going on. Just like one of our members today was asking about covered calls and cash secured puts. Then we had other members trying to explain to them, right? Right? And then some members came and like, man, you know, let's bring this videos in and that video in, right? At the end of the day, we grow together, right? Some people might grow a lot faster than others, and some people are a little slower. But at the end of the day, we got to be together, okay? Because this is a community effort, okay? The United States was not built off of the 0.01%. It was built off of the backs of the bottom 50% of Americans. It's not because you are dumb. No, it's the fact that the system strangled the opportunities and the highway systems that would allow you to go to the 0.01%. And my sociology degree, Emil Durkheim, specifically stated that society functions as an organism, like a body, a head, hands, and legs. But whenever you have a hand become its own animal, let's say the hand becomes a cat, it becomes like a tumor. It starts stretching and taking in all of the resources of the body to where the hand becomes its own species, which is the top 0.01%, to where now the legs and the other hand have to work in slavery to that other organism. To where this hand, the hand of opulence that Adam Smith said that would be bestowed upon every great American that would bring in capitalism, it gets severed. They inject bullshit and gaps in your educational system to where you would never be able to understand how large numbers work. You would never understand that there are 1,000 millions in a billion, that there are 1,000 billions in a trillion. This is exactly what I'm building. Remember, guys, there's a lot, hundreds of thousands of pages in my mind that I've read. The degrees that I have attained, holy shit, right? The amount of shit that's going into this platform, right? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah? You see it all, right? Because you have the same degrees as me. You see everything being put together?
I do.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and let me look at the comment sections real quick. Oh yeah, right. Socialize the list, right? Oh man, I was crazy, man. I was a big socialist, right? Let me go ahead and go to the comment sections real quick here. Sorry, let me go back up here. Right, that's me, Al. Family of 6. I'm our only income. I've been a mechanic since 18 years of age, right? And now I'm 46. My hands are worn. My back is sore. And right, I can't say your medical history, but you've told it to me. And yeah, right. Versus the backs of politicians work just great, right? Thankful I've been able to provide, but this is not the American dream. And that breaks my heart. That breaks my heart. Right? This isn't the American dream. Right? And there are people out there that are in the rich areas of California and the Malibus of Florida, or the Malibus in California, right? Gotta help me, Michelle. I don't know these rich areas, okay? What's in Florida? What's the rich area? Palm Street or Palm Mission? What's it called? Palm Beach?
There is a Palm Beach, yeah.
Yeah, those bastards, there's my socialism coming on, right? Right? There are those people there that live like kings. They have mansions that stretch for generational decades. And yet they look at people like B-Rob and they don't even shed a tear. Okay, this is not the America that I read about as a first generation citizen to this great country. There's a CLOV to retirement. We love Michelle. See, Michelle's the best. I need a Michelle or a Michael. I don't know. B-Rob, you are doing a good job, brother. Absolutely, yes, you are. Right? Yes, you are. 100%. Appreciate you. Obama is on the verge of being indicted for violation of Espionage Act. I did not know this. Related to the Russiagate and spying on President. I did not know this. I'm going to look into this. Yeah, I mean, it broke my heart because Obama has such a big following. And I attack him because I expected a lot out of him. Because he's a brother that came from nothing. Right? And now you see his beautiful house in Lanikai Beach and all the houses he owns and the millions of dollars that he made.
It's really weird how they brought what is it, at Jeff Bezos' wedding, they brought Oprah Winfrey was there, but then she was talking about how she's there for the common people, but then here she is at Jeff Bezos' wedding.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Oprah. Yeah, Oprah's there for the common people, and then Oprah is at Jeff Bezos' wedding, right?
Yeah, but then they're attacking Trump. It's just weird.
Yeah,
it's weird to me.
Yeah, no, but the beautiful part is now we're free. Right now we have the internet. We have YouTube to communicate these thoughts in our mind that we all feel. But before, the only communication we had was with CNN and Fox News on the TV. We didn't have this. I didn't have this fancy mic hooked up to my neck and my girl's neck, communicating to you in some fast internet, right? So, and I know you guys have kids, and the kids are like, "What is he talking about, guys?" I mean, what do you mean? Yeah, we had dial-up back in the day. You think dial-up was able to do this? Dial-up couldn't even load anything, man. Net zero, all these things, right? Crazy how the socialists are the ones who want the list released. Oh, which list? The Epstein list? I want to see Epstein's list, right? Where's Epstein's list? Release that shit, right? All right, let's see what's going on. Epstein. How much clove did God tell you to buy? He hasn't told me to stop. or maybe it might be that OnlyFans girl. Maybe it was the devil. Who knows? Remember that OnlyFans lady? Man, she confused God and the devil. Jesus Christ, man. That is crazy, man. God told me to buy as much as I could possibly get without losing my house, right? Everyone would have sold their CLOV shares if there would be no L. And I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate it. The institutions want you to sell, right? And I'm showing you the data.
Yes, Miami Keys. That's what it was.
What's up? Oh, Miami Keys. Is that the rich area?
Yeah, that's one of them.
I don't even know where that is. I'm going to Google it, right? Let's see here. Oh, yeah, the 600K. Yeah, top 2%. Yep. I'm tired of the daily hard physical labor. I'm tired of being part of the system. Yeah, it's it. I'm telling you, man, let me tell you something, okay? I would say that, and I know I have a lot of doctors join our platform, right? So to all the doctors that are listening, imagine if you could help one of your patients become a millionaire, how would it make you feel? Right? Right? I mean, it's just amazing. I'm just looking at this kid's eyes, Imagine how many kids you can touch. Right? So this is where I get my gratification. right? I had web TV in the late 90s, just the internet. You could hook to TV and 3 channels by plugging into exactly. That's all we had. That's what we had. I want to be able to buy my dog his own personal chef. That's B-Rob. Yeah, that's so. We got our dog ice cream today at Whole Foods. I think it's like Bezos Prime Week, so I think he's going to pay for the wedding with the sale he has. So if you guys want to go to Whole Foods, it's like 50% off the whole friggin' store. We got like 50% ice cream for our dogs and 50% off chicken. Man, we were shopping at Whole Foods, guys. It was good. What did we get? We got a lot.
A lot.
Dude, I was surprised. The bill was only $120, and we got like a shit ton. That would have been like a $300, $400 bill, right?
Usually you walk out with like one bag and it's $100.
Yeah, I know. We walked out with like a lot. Dude. Yeah. Okay, so anywho, guys, that's all I wanted to say, right? We talked to this guy, and this is going to be fun. The amount of lives that we're going to touch. Imagine, I mean, it's one thing for a stock get to intrinsic value. Just wait till you start doing the wheel strategy. And don't eat that money. Don't be stupid. Take that money and buy properties. Right? Grind for another 5 years if you can, if you have time. Right? And get properties. Right? That's what I'm going to be doing. Get more properties, guys. Build that. Right? For every 40 to 60 properties you'll own, you'll need one property manager. Right? It doesn't make sense to get a property manager until you're on your 28th home. So it's good to do a third-party system to help you manage your properties, right? And if you haven't realized, there will be a mastering to real estate course. It is coming soon, but I'm not a master yet. I need about 10 more years, and then I can say I'm a master. I'm not a master yet. I'm still learning. And specifically, I'm learning from Michelle's father, who is more than just a master, right? Shit, right? The guy killed himself. Yeah. So
He's always tried fitting in. I think he thought that is because he lacked education. He barely finished high school in Los Angeles, and I think it's just I think that's something he's always been insecure about, which is why he always pressed education on me and my sisters. And I just now growing up and going through the system, it's not that he lacked education. It's I don't think he ever just fit in with that group. What do you think it is?
Yeah, no, he didn't fit in because I would say the people that run the institutions are more racist than the common American. Do you agree with that statement, Michelle, or am I wrong? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I agree.
The people that run institutions are more racist than the normal day American that is working the 9-to-5 grind. Right? That's why he didn't fit in. He had an accent. He had a lisp. People thought he was dumb. Right? And now he has over $400 fucking million. That's how much he has now. So.
He still could barely work a phone.
Yeah. Ah, somebody's out here. CLOV has, Michelle has sisters. Just not Nancy. We don't want fucking Nancy. Nancy, if you're watching, we don't want you. Nancy's her sister. She's crazy as hell. She got crazy bug eyes like Chamath Palihapitiya. Oh my God. She's crazy, man. Man, this girl, I mean, holy shit. She's crazy. I'm not naming my kid Nancy. Oh my God. Michelle's hitting me. She's like, stop it. Stop it. Oh, fuck, man. Oh man. But yeah, guys. If you ever walking down Beverly Hills, walking down folks in those areas, and if you don't fit in, no, guys, trust me. All that you see is all fake.
Yeah.
It's all fake. There's nothing real about that. Half of the people that walk the streets of Beverly Hills, more than half are bankrupt. They don't own shit. Right? The real wealth doesn't act like that. Right? And a couple things that I've noticed These are like the silent things that no one wants to say. And I'm comfortable of saying them. I don't give a fuck, right? I don't care, right? I started to realize that, and I find it so really, I just find it weird. I'm in a group of medical professionals, and they make fun of normal day Americans for not believing in vaccines. Okay. And I get it, right? Normal day Americans don't have the privilege of understanding how vaccines work, right? You know, how they go to, the Langerhans cells, they traffic to the lymph node, they talk to the T cells, B cells, all these things, right? And you would think that these people, these doctors, they have a brain, right? They're smart, right? They because they take physics, they take chemistry, they take all these courses, biochem, they take all this information in undergrad, right? To take the MCAT, very smart, right? But yet, when it comes to business, when it comes to Wall Street, let me tell you something. You go speak to a doctor right now, and the doctor knows that you're a business person. They will look at you in a degrading way. I don't know what it is and why it is, okay? But if you ever find yourself that you don't fit in with this group, just like how Michelle's father did that, it's not you. It's not you. It's the indoctrination in the system in which these doctors and people that come from colleges have been institutionalized to believe that capitalism is wrong. Right? If you go to medical school right now, Michelle, and if you say you like Wall Street and you like stocks, they're going to look at you and they're going to say, how dare you? How dare you believe in stocks? You shouldn't buy something and for that something to go up.
They would attack me, honestly.
They would attack, right?
And then if I fail an exam, they'd say you're distracted.
Exactly. Right? And what's interesting is and I find this so funny because they believe that I had a medical student come to me and say, I don't believe in buying a stock, buying it, and then it going up after a couple of months. That doesn't make sense. It going up after a couple of years. I don't believe in that. And my mind automatically goes to the vaccine argument. You have medical students make fun of patients that don't understand how vaccines work because those folks didn't have the education that you had, and it's your job to teach them. I find it so puzzling that they believe the stock market is just putting money in and it's a scam when they themselves don't have the financial education, the math, and the math to actually understand how it works. But you know what's funny? They've taken math, they understand physics, they've done all the necessary tools to get into medicine, right? Medical school. But yet they hold these false beliefs that Wall Street and investing in stocks is like the devil's work. Just like how there's some people out there that believes vaccines don't work. You see how it's, in my mind, I see them as the same because they all come from a common denominator of ignorance and stupidity. But I don't fault the person who's an anti-vaxxer because they're not educated. I fault the physician, the medical student, the establishment, because all that education that you spend so much money for your children to go into, all that education, and they come out hating capitalism, right? They come out hating America. They come out, and you know what pisses me off? They come out making fun of Americans that look like this. Laughing, calling these types of Americans hillbillies. These are all the things that I heard in this privileged field called medicine. right? They look down at people when they don't believe in vaccines. That's fine. It's a free country. Explain to them how it works, and if they don't like it, move on. The point that I'm trying to say is that you all that are watching right now, in the coming years, you all are about to make some serious money. This type of money is very irregular to make. It's not normal. It's not how the system was created. The system was not designed for someone like me to go online to have over 250,000 lines of code that I wrote with my own hands, and to show you data, lines, and numbers of what the institutions are doing. The system was not designed to create something like me. I forced my way out of the system. I crawled, broke my nails, gained weight to crawl out of the death of the bottom 50%. And when I got to the top, I saw a bunch of privileged people, the elites, look down at people that have a yellow cap like this man. But yet when they see patients like this, because guess what? They get paid off of the backs of patients like this because of the insurance. I see them act political, be politically nice, be politically fake. How are you doing today? Come here. Oh, I can only imagine how hard this must be for you, right? All this nonsense, bullshit, little dance they learn of how to say the buzzwords to get into medical school by saying the buzzwords of altruism, culturally competence, and all that bullshit just to be able to get this job, to be part of the elite, and to look back at the people in which you are sworn and have taken the Hippocratic oath to represent, to look down at these people. This is why I created Al Stock Trades. This is why I created the stock terminal. This is why I created it. Because I went to the Mecca of healthcare. I went to Cleveland Clinic. I went to Mayo Clinic, the #1 hospital in the world. I saw the elite. I went to the top. I saw how the elite function. And I saw how they view. I saw the difference between a VIP patient that comes from Saudi Arabia or politicians get treated, and I saw what a normal day American gets treated. And the only difference was not because the color of their skin, the content of their character. It was because of their wealth. It was because of their money. Right? So this is why I created this system. Right? So, this is this is what, it's 11:30 p.m. Arizona time. I got to wake up tomorrow at 4 a.m., right? This is what keeps me up, right? It's to fight for people like this guy.
I think leaving that restaurant, I was just so emotional because it's like, this is why you built all of this, is to reach people like him.
Exactly. To make those kids be able to live a life like Kai Trump. I want those kids to feel like Kai Trump. I want them to know that their dad created generational wealth for them, that they're protected, that they don't have to fear of them losing their house. That's why I built this platform. Right? And you can already see Chamath in the video I showed earlier about how Bloomberg is, it's a necessity, but it's also organized in a very stupid fashion. That if someone builds something better, it's $100 billion market ready to ripe. But instead of going to institutions, I'm going directly to retail investors. right? So go to the comments real quick. The racial divisiveness crap that popped up in the last 10 years makes me sick. Yes, it is a big racial divide. I've never seen institutions have become so racist. It's unbelievable how racist they've become.
I was in an anatomy lab. Remember that one?
Yeah.
I was in an anatomy
No,
lab.
and the thing is, I would not even share that because
It's
you
so crazy.
could get attacked because of that,
That is
right?
wild.
Because of another medical student using a race card. And Michelle is Palestinian and she's not even white. Imagine that. Imagine that. Right? Let's see here. Do you want to have kids, Al? 100% I do. They'll be coming soon. I got one barking right now. Human kids for sure. When we are not allowed by law to sue the vaccine manufacturer for potential damages, it sues Dow. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. We should be able to sue anybody, right? You are what keep me. You are what it keeps me up, Al. You are very motivating. I appreciate you, B-Rob. Right? Appreciate you. Right? Even Michelle, and even still, because she's attached early on in her career, she can't even be 100%. Right? Because of the fear of the elites kicking her out. Right? This is what I want us to break out of. Being able to be free. Right? I mean, honestly, you can share it, right? It's not that bad, right? What do you
I
think?
don't think it's bad. I already told my school about it.
You already told your school about it? Okay, then share it. Go ahead, share it.
So there's two girls in I have two different girls in one in CBI. That's where we break down case discussions, like fake patient cases. And then one in anatomy lab, two separate classes. One girl's name is Samina. The other girl's name is Samara. I mixed the two names up because the classes were back to back and we just rotated groups. And she literally said, "You're being racist. You mixed up my name." And I was like, "How is that racist?" And I was just literally completely just shocked that.
What else did she say? She said something else.
I forgot, but it was just wild. And
No, but she brought the race, the other.
yeah, no, she's like that's. She literally said that was racist.
She said something else. I remember it was like a weird. What was it? Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, the story gets a lot worse, right? The point is it's a dog world, right? And then I see you here. You said, "Sorry, Al, I'm not vaccinating my kids." I would say to that, not to veer off the discussion, I would say look at measles, right? Look at the original. I would like to call them OG vaccines. Look at the OG vaccines. Those OG vaccines are real, my friend. Those OG vaccines are good, right? From my opinion, data-driven, those OG vaccines are good. Now, here's the thing. Look into them. Do your own research, right? Use the same thing that I taught you. Think through first principles. Look at the data. Look who invented the measles vaccine, right? Look at who invented it. Look at how much it costs. Look at what happens when people don't get measles vaccines, right? What happens to them after the 8th or 10th year? Is it the measles that gives you the encephalopathy after 10 years? The SBE with the CD8 cytotoxic 8 cells that go to the brain and give you encephalopathy? I think it's that one, isn't it? Measles. The point is look at the original OG vaccines, okay? And then do the same research I taught you, right? And then come to your conclusion, right? That's all I say, right? And that's what I say to patients, right? This is America. You are free to do as what you please. Our founding fathers fought for this, right? That opportunity, right? But my recommendation is just look at the data. That's all I say. Look at the data, right? I don't look down at someone for not believing in vaccines. I don't look down at them. They did not have the education that I had, and I'm no better than them, right? So I showed them the information and let them come to their own conclusion, right? Just like how I showed all of you guys this information on the free cash flow and net income, and you come to your own conclusion. You've seen Carvana, you've seen Palantir, you've seen AMD, you've seen Tesla, you've seen Enphase, and now you're seeing Clover Health. Right? So, CA is going to surpass MA revenue easily. Oh, that's insane, because that revenue has a higher price to sales and has a higher percentage to go to net income and has a higher percentage of going to free cash flow. Data 100% back it up, 100%. All right, guys. So that's all I have for you. I wanted to take some time to really talk about that moment at the restaurant for the breakfast. And, I'm fighting for all you guys, okay? I'm fighting for all you guys because I've seen the system. The system has failed you. By the time I see patients that are sick, it's already too late to save them. The system failed them. So what do I do? All right? I do the best I can do. Go online, show you the data, write hundreds of thousands of lines of code, and be able to show you from first principles. And we're gonna speak to some people, and some people are gonna say, I don't believe it, and that's fine, right? We can't save everybody, right? Is it here? Love you too, lovebirds. You guys make my heart beat. I appreciate you. Thanks, Alan and Michelle. Right? And again, guys, I would not have done this without Michelle, right? Michelle has been so supportive. You guys have no idea, right? The amount of time I've cut between our relationship. How much time have I cut to build this? Huh?
Well, just Minnesota. So when he first started this in Minnesota, that year we went, I don't think he ever left the room. I think he was coding maybe like 20 hours a day. He would literally just go up to sleep for 4 hours, and he would just go back and just his eyes would just be bloodshot red from how much he was coding. And literally for a whole year, he did not. Well, also it was like -20, but
yeah, it was also -20 degrees.
And then the summers are like really nasty, humid with big bugs. So he just kind of trapped himself inside.
So for you guys that don't know, when I was at Mayo Clinic in 2021, and let me tell you something. Everything that you see here, not this one, but this one here, this one, all this, everything that you see here, I was coding it 4 years ago. I was coding it. And she's right. I only slept for 4 hours a day for a whole year. I was up 20 hours, did research, came home, coded until my eyes were bloodshot red.
There's days you probably didn't even sleep.
Yeah, there were days I probably didn't sleep. Yeah. Because I had a vision. And that's when I came on YouTube in Minnesota. I came on and I started yelling at all of you guys. Right? Right? A lot of you guys have been watching me for the past 4 years. You've seen my message has stayed the same. Right? And I couldn't give you screenshots of the Bloomberg terminal I had, because I reached out to them and they said that they would sue me, right? I couldn't show you the Bloomberg terminal. I couldn't just make a video on it and show it to you. So I couldn't give you all the data. So I tried to find data for free, and they removed that, like Morningstar. So I had to build my own, right? You remember Mayo Clinic? There was a moonlight, there are sunshines, and there's I appreciate you. You remember Nerd for Life? I literally went on that platform just so I can learn how to talk to people, because I do not like to talk in front of a camera. I got used to being able to learn how to talk on camera. Right? The amount of work it's taken to see this, and what's funny? Everything that we all worked hard for, all the sacrifices you all have made. A lot of you are stock rich but cash poor. Only people that, like B-Rob and I, all of you guys understand being cash rich, being stock rich but cash poor. Holy shit. You know what I mean? Right? Everything that you've worked hard for, guys, it could be in the next year. It could be in 6 months from now. It could be next month. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, once we break net income profitability, we will have the triple dragon. we will break out of the matrix. Call options and premiums will go to the moon. Okay? There will be idiots on Twitter with hundreds of thousands of followers try to salivate over our shares. And we will give them an opportunity to flirt with them in a covered call when it's paying $3, $4, $5, $6, ladies and gentlemen, per contract. There will be a time, there will be a day. It is coming soon. And I've prepped us very well for that moment. We are, and we will see the mountaintop. It is coming. Right? We will get to the mountaintop. I assure you that. Right? Stock rich, cash poor. You got it, Andy. Right? We're stock rich, cash poor. Right? People look at us like you should imagine. Michelle's dad went from zero to hero, and he's probably looking at me like this guy has a lot of money, but like he doesn't look like he has a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like, is this real? What's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Right? Cash poor, stock rich, baby. Cash is poor right now, right? Because all that shit's invested in this company and a bunch of other ones. You know what I'm saying? Right? Another great t-shirt, right? Stock rich, cash poor. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Let's go. That's so true. Right? Andy Smith, that's me right now. Yeah, oh yeah. I'm speaking to all of you guys, right? Right? It's almost like, oh man, I just gotta wait. I'm telling you, it's coming. Remember, guys, when I start getting antsy, we're close. When I start getting antsy, we're very close. And I'm telling you, we are getting closer to our mountaintop. Right? I see it. It's very, very clear. Profitability might happen this year. Too early to say, but certainly by 2026. I'm certain of it. All right, guys. Love you all. I'm going to go get some sleep. And thank you for joining our platform. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for making my dreams come true and being able to show the world this, being able to have the opportunity to be able to help, be able to be in service, be able to do more than what any doctor can do in a broken healthcare system, right? Thank you for giving me the opportunity and your attention, right? Because that is the most valuable thing in life is attention. And the fact that I have your attention, I want to thank you for that, right? And I promise I will not abuse your attention, right? Everything I do, I put God's name first. Everything I do, I put God first, right? So, love you all. And then, I sold my tent to buy more club. We don't need tents anymore, baby. We don't need tents, right? We're going to the mountaintop. We're going to the mountaintop. I can see it. And this time I'm going to be there with you. Appreciate you all. I'll see you on the next one.
Retail winners here to seize the day. Clover's health, dollars gonna sway. In this game, no more bills to pay. Through the highs and lows, we stay strong. Albert's voice guiding us all along. Clover's growth, we're playing like a song. Investing right, never going wrong.